Sudhakar Barbade, Assistant Professor, Electronics and Telecommunication Engineering, Walchand Institute of Technology, Solapur. Today, we will discuss programmable logic controllers and one of the application, that is elevator controller. Learning outcome: at the end of this session, students will be able to describe ladder diagram for elevator control. So our focus is to develop a ladder diagram of a elevator control system. Contents: before going to the ladder diagram of elevator control, we should know how elevator works and what are the controls needed, and that we are going to study in the first part, and then we are switching towards the ladder diagram of elevator control. Here, this is what the general operations involved in elevator control. Here we have 4 switches. This is a control panel, and here we have the elevator control system, which consists of lifting this object up and down. Okay, so this object can be lifted up or down, and this movement is controlled by motor M1 here. Here motor M1 is present, and here motor M2 is present. Okay, and to the other side there is a weight associated with the object, so that when the object moves upwards, this weight comes down and it touches to this LS1, that is limit switch 1, means when this weight touches the limit switch 1, this object has reached its highest point. We should that means moving upwards, this while moving upwards, it should not be forever upwards. This should stop, motor should stop whenever it reaches this point. So to move this object upwards, we can rotate the motor M1 in clockwise direction. Here motor M1 and motor M2 are given specific tasks, that is either to lift up or lift down, and that is controlled by up and down buttons. And stop button is used to stop the moving object wherever it was. So this is what the operation of elevator control. Now let us see description of this. So we are going to study now PLC ladder diagram for elevator control. See, there are different steps involved in this operation. There are 4 steps here noted down. First one is a start button. When we push start button, object moves down by M2. So this object is moved down by motor M2, and to make it down, this should be moved in anti-clockwise direction. Remember this. Stop button stops object wherever it is. That means the moving object should stop wherever it is after we push this stop button. Then up button moves object in up direction by motor M1 if it is not in down motion already. Very important. If the object is moving downward, and if I press up button, no effect will be there. If object is not moving downward, and if I push up, then only the object will move upwards. Otherwise, earlier operation is not cancelled. So this is what the third step, that is up button moves object in the up direction by motor M1. So the object is moved up by motor M1. So the direction of the motor M1 to move up this up is clockwise. And the last is down move button, moves object in down direction by motor M2 if it is not in up motion. That means already if it is in up motion, no effect will be there of pushing down button. Okay, but if already the object was standstill and if you push down button, then the object will move downwards. Okay, so this is what the rules and scenario is specified in for this elevator control system. Okay, and this is what the rules defined here. Now let us see, take one question. What will be the directions of rotation of motor M1 and motor M2? You pause the video and answer the question. And the question might be very simple. See, what will be the directions of rotation of motor M1 and M2? So keep in mind here, motor M1 is used to move the object upward direction. Okay, motor M1 is used to move the object in upward direction. That means it should rotate in clockwise direction. So motor M1 clockwise and motor M2 anti-clockwise. That's all. That is what the answer to the question. So here now we will see different steps required for implementing this. As we saw earlier, there are 4 steps involved: start, stop, up and down. So here this is a task 1. Here if you look at, this is the start button, this is a limit switch 2, limit switch 2 is at the top, limit switch 1 is at the bottom. Okay, so this is the limit switch 2 at the top, this is a CR1 control relay, and this is also CR1, this is used for latching. Then there is a CR1, this is motor M2. Okay, so first step is what? Elevator control step 1, start button. This is about the start button. So when we push this start button, this CR1 is energized and will start motor M2, and the motor will, if motor M2 is started, where it will move? Downward or upward? Downward. Here it is given. If motor M2 is on, the object will go down. So when I push start button moves object down by motor M2. And motor M2 stops when LS2 is open. That means when object is moving downwards, this will go upwards, and when this touches to LS2, the object will stop. Okay, so this is start button. Then next is task 2, that is elevator control step 2. Here there is one intermediate stage or step is required for up and down. What is that step? That is given by this ladder diagram. Here CR2 is open, CR2 here opens momentarily when stop button is pressed. So when I press momentarily this opens. Okay, and CR3 remains energized all the time except at the moment stop button is pressed. So it is used for up and down button operation. So here if you look at, this is CR3, and this CR3 will be energized when stop button is pressed, because here there is a CR2 and CR2 is here. And when the stop button is removed, finger from stop button is removed, this is that means this is always energized. Okay, because this is a not operation, CR2 is not operation. So when this is not energized, this will energize, and this is used for up and down operation. Here we look at the elevator control step 3, that is motor M1 must start when up button is pressed and motor M2 is not running. See here, when I push up button, the object is moved upward by motor M1, but at that time the motor M2 should not be on because the object must not be going downward. So that is taken care by here CR5. So this is what CR5 connected here. Here if you look at, this is a CR5 connected, this is CR4, this is a latching operation CR4, this is CR3 which is used in from the previous step, this is a limit switch 1, okay, and CR5 is used. So, and must stop when LS1 is open. So when this the object has reached top, the motor should be stopped. And the last step is the elevator control step 4, that is motor M2 must start when down button is pressed, okay, and motor M1 is not running. That means at that time object must not be going upwards when I press down button, otherwise there will be no effect of it, and it is taken care by CR4 here. Just you look at CR4 here, and must stop when LS2 is open. LS2 is at the top. So whenever the object reaches down, the fixed contact, that means LS2 is activated. Okay, so that is taken care by this CR4. So this is CR5. Okay, so and this is a down button. References: I use this textbook for preparing the PPTs, Programmable Logic Controllers by John Webb Ronald Reis, PHI Publications, 5th edition. Thank you.